In 1858, an author named Morgan Robertson wrote a novel called Futility. It detailed a massive luxury ocean liner striking an iceberg and sinking in the North Atlantic. 14 years later, the Titanic sank in the exact same way. Days before his own assassination, Abraham Lincoln described a hyper-realistic dream. He heard people weeping inside the White House, asked a soldier what happened, and was told the president had been killed. These historical echoes suggest that time might be leaking. But you don't have to be a president to feel this. You could just be standing in a crowded room at a wedding, sipping tea, when a friend calls your name. Instantly, your brain locks up. You get a sudden, electric shock, a certainty that you have lived this exact second before. Roughly 3 out of 4 people on Earth have experienced this sensation. We have to determine if our consciousness is slipping through a crack in time, or if our biology is playing a trick on us. Theoretical physicist Dr.
Michio Kaku argues that déjà vu provides evidence for the multiverse. In the many worlds interpretation of quantum physics, every choice splits reality. You drink tea, one universe forms. Coffee, another forms. Kaku suggests sometimes these parallel timelines drift so close that for a microsecond, your consciousness brushes against a parallel version of yourself. Entertaining this theory brings us to a 3,000-year-old philosophical problem, the fatalism paradox. If you are genuinely remembering a moment as it happens, the outcome is already fixed. You aren't making a choice in the present. You are merely performing a script that was written before you were born. Identifying the source of this feeling determines how we view human agency. If déjà vu is a memory of a future already written, free will is an illusion. But if the source is internal, the future remains ours to shape. Multiverse theory currently lacks empirical proof. To find concrete answers, we have to look directly at the hardware of the human brain. At Colorado State University, Dr. Ann Cleary used virtual reality to test how we process surroundings. She placed participants inside a digital garden, then later moved them into a completely different environment, a chaotic, messy junkyard. Your brain deletes 90% of visual data, silently saving spatial layouts in a hidden folder called implicit memory. Cleary built the junkyard using the exact same floor plan. Unconscious minds recognized the geometry, triggering massive waves of déjà vu. This familiarity is often just a misplaced memory. Your brain matches the layout of a room to a forgotten movie you watched last week, or a dream from years ago. But pattern matching alone is a mild feeling. It doesn't explain the violent, time-freezing jolt that makes déjà vu so deeply unsettling. Dr. Akira O'Connor and his team at the University of St. Andrews used real-time MRI scans to track that physical jolt. They triggered artificial déjà vu using word association games designed to confuse the brain. As participants felt that eerie sense of having been here before, researchers watched their brain activity at the exact microsecond of the trigger. For a century, the assumption was that déjà vu lived in the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. But the memory center stayed dark. Instead, activity spiked in the frontal lobes. The frontal lobes handle conflict detection and error checking. Their job is to notice when something doesn't add up. When your memory system incorrectly flags a new situation as completely familiar, your frontal lobes spot the contradiction and fire off a warning. That warning is the déjà vu you feel. It is the sound of your brain successfully catching a logical error in real time. Even with the science explained, many people remain convinced they can predict what happens in the 10 seconds following a déjà vu episode. Dr. Cleary tested this by pausing her VR simulation mid-déjà vu and asking subjects to guess the next turn in a maze. Their accuracy was exactly the same as random guessing. We believe we are seeing the future because of confirmation bias. You might have 100 random thoughts about an upcoming day. Your brain discards the 99 that miss, leaving only the one random hit that happened to come true. This 1% success rate creates the illusion of prophecy. This same logic applies to the Titanic prophecy. Morgan Robertson, the author, was a maritime insider. He understood that ocean liners were becoming too large for their outdated safety features. His book was a highly educated prediction of an inevitable disaster, later confirmed by a tragic coincidence. Because déjà vu is an internal correction rather than an external memory, the future remains unwritten. You are not trapped in a script.
This 1.4 kilogram biological machine works tirelessly to fact-check your reality. The unsettling shock of déjà vu is the sound of that system policing the boundary between the past and the present to ensure your choices remain your own.